disruptive.
America that I fought for.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So if you ever wonder where all this woke stuff has come from, why Bud Light did what they did to screw themselves over, why Miller Lite did that commercial, why, Target is selling Pride t-shirts to kids, where all this gender neutral and all this is coming from. Well, we kind of know that it comes from the top down. It comes from the corporate ideologue that's basically manipulating the masses to go along with this agenda. We know that there's some sort of billionaire-esque philanthropy that's motivating this. And we knew about with Peter Flaherty, who was the speaker at a Warren Buffett meeting in Nebraska, where he openly revealed that it's people like him and Bill Gates that have pushed the, trans agenda and, promoting the political correctness and the woke ideologue and so on and so forth. But there's also multi-international corporations, these billionaire behemoths, that are also playing a factor in this. And one of them, as you know, is BlackRock. And this is the global conglomerate that has pretty much has assets in all different forms and all different companies. They have pretty much infected every single major company across North America, across Europe, across all around the globe. And they are notorious for modifying people's behavior. And I know this because the person responsible, the CEO, as you're about to see here, Larry Fink, announced this at a business meeting, at a summit. And he's about to announce why BlackRock is promoting these agendas and pushing that agenda to corporations like Bud Light and Target and McDonald's and Oreos and everything in between. Take a listen to this.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and what we are doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay?
We're doing the same thing.
And so it's just, you have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities, and we're going to have to force change.
So he says you have to force behavior on people when it comes to age, race, religion, and identity. You have to force that upon people. And that is where the political correctness comes in. I mean, it is right there in the title, political, but you think it would come from the political establishment, and who's also involved with the political establishment is a corporate behemoth like BlackRock. A global corporate behemoth, by the way. They are an international investment takeover of capital around the world. Because capitalism helps, create a competition. And what better competition than BlackRock owning everything, right? That's yay, free markets. Anyway, but here's where this gets also interesting is because James O'Keefe, who you know from Project Veritas, now does the O'Keefe Fund media group, also exposed BlackRock for something interesting. So not only are they involved in wokeness, but this is why they promote the war agenda, because BlackRock contributes the most to the war profiteering and the military-industrial complex. And of course, they're going to get kickbacks and benefits and capital from these proxy wars. And they're going and James O'Keefe is going undercover to an employee at BlackRock who's going to explain how BlackRock benefits from pushing the war agenda. Take a listen to this.
They don't want to be in the news. They don't want people to talk about them. They don't want to be anywhere on the radar.
Why not?
I don't know, but I suspect it's probably because it's easier to do things when people aren't thinking about it. All of these financial institutions, they buy politicians. You can take this big ton of money, and then you can start to buy people. I work for a company called BlackRock.
Meet Serge Varley, a recruiter at BlackRock.
Let me tell you, it's not through who's the president. It's who's controlling the wallet. So it's
And who's that?
So he just revealed that the president is not in control of you. And I kind of have suspicions concerning that Joe Biden, who can barely finish a sentence and walk off stage correctly, or Kamala Harris that laughs inadvertently, does not have control over the nation. Or even Justin Trudeau, for that matter. It's not the person who can make speeches that are controlling the nation. It's the people that are buying the people that are making the speeches. You know, the prime minister and the president and the vice president are more just like mascots. They're there for the illusion of democracy. They're there for the illusion that you have an elected leader. But who really has control over the economy, laws, restrictions, regulations, and the direction of where the country's going is people that are buying these politicians, the investors, the stockholders. Those are the people that are in control of every single aspect of every country they take part of. He just admitted that as a recruiter for BlackRock, that BlackRock buys politicians so that they can control different countries, from laws to the economy to their economics to their resources to everything, to their culture to how they interact with each other, everything.
the hedge funds, BlackRock, the banks. These guys want campaign financing. Yep, you can buy your candidates. Obviously, we have the system in place. First, there's the senators, and these guys are cheap. You got 10 grand, you can buy a senator. I can give you 500K right now, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I didn't do this. We're done.
Only 10 grand to buy a senator. Only 10 grand to buy a... Wow. It goes to show you that that people that get into politics, you know, and I think of like AOC, for example, because I used to, you know, back in the day when, you know, I thought there was actually going to be a Bernie movement and things are actually going to turn around. 2016, you know, that election cycle, I thought there was going to be hope and prosperity, like actual hope, not the Obama hope, but actual hope. I think of people like AOC that, you know, was going to change things around and get small contributions and we're going to do things. But then you realize she's been easily bought out, and it makes you realize that people that go into politics just literally have no self-worth, no integrity, like they can easily be bought out. Like just no identity, no purpose to themselves. They're just complete pawns of the establishment. And it just makes me think that anyone that actually gets into politics, and especially ones that go into major political parties, whether it being Democrat, Republican, or liberal or conservative, they're just in it because for the money. They can easily get money if they toe the line for a major political party or the establishment or a banker. They can easily get money. They easily have job security if they can toe the line to that. But if you actually have your own individual ideals and morals, and you want to address that, and you want to actually help your constituents, the people that voted for you, those are the people that are just left out in the dust. They just are completely gone. And it just goes to show that democracy, like the whole, January 6th, oh, your democracy was ruined by January 6th. No, democracy is ruined because of these fuckers. Democracy is ruined because of this. This is why we don't have democratic institutions anymore. This is why people have lost trust and faith in governments. This is why. This is why, democracy, the republic, everything, it's just such a joke now because they're easily bought and easily controllable by hedge fund billionaires and investors like BlackRock and Vanguard and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos and all these individuals.
Does everybody do that? Does BlackRock do that?
It doesn't matter who wins.
They're still going.
They're my pocket at this point.
Here's Serge Varley on how good war is for BlackRock's business.
Do you have any thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Yeah, I mean, I do have thoughts.
What are they?
Ukraine is good for business. You know that, right? I'll give an example. Russia blows up Ukraine's grain silos. Price of wheat's gonna go mad up. Ukrainian economy is tied very largely to the wheat market, global wheat market. Prices of bread, literally everything it goes up and down. This is fantastic if you're trading. Volatility creates opportunity to make profit. War is real good for business. It's exciting when goes wrong, right? BlackRock manages.
War is good for business. Ukraine is a big moneymaker. Everything's good when shit hits the fan. He's just revealing everything that I have mentioned, everything that has already been exposed. This is just proving that the war machine is nothing to do with humanity. And I still see people to this day, attacking me saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, or I don't care about Ukrainian people, or I don't care about these people. We need war to save the democracy of these people. I still see those on social media. But they don't see the obvious signs. They don't see out in the open that this is nothing to do with humanity. Nothing. They could care less about people. BlackRock could not care less. You are worse than dirt to these individuals. They want you to kill each other. They want you angrily sacrifice yourself, killing bloodshed all over the place. Because it's good for business. The same thing I've said about school shootings. You think that mainstream media outlets want school shootings to stop? God, no. Why? Because every time a school shooting happens, how many eyes are now glued to the screen thinking, oh my God, how scary it is, so that my child's going to be the next victim. And then they go out and buy more guns, and then more chaos happens. Guess what? It's because it's a lucrative business. It's consumption. It's an over-consuming consumption propaganda machine. And it's BlackRock at the helm that's promoting this to alter people's behaviors for their own benefits. And it's amazing that James O'Keefe and the media group that he is starting is able to prove that just by going undercover and talking to the recruiter like they're just at a coffee house somewhere. It is amazing what this guy can reveal just from a conversation.
20 trillion. It's incomprehensible numbers.
BlackRock Serge Varley says all of this is above a normal person's understanding.
You're like an undercover reporter. No people don't give a shit. This is beyond them. The whole thing of domination from a concept is it's so interesting.
Hi, I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News. Here we are with our latest story, this time on BlackRock, one of the world's leading asset and investment managers, which owns significant shares of companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Anheuser-Busch, Meta, Target, Procter & Gamble, Comcast, CNN, Fox, and yes, Pfizer, just to name a few. At OMG, we do not shy away from exposing powerful companies, and we're not afraid of powerful people. So we decided to take a look for ourselves at the influence BlackRock has on our politics and the influence they have on our culture. So to do that, what better place to start a hidden camera investigation than into a self-described gatekeeper at BlackRock?
Like, you're kind of like a fucking gatekeeper at BlackRock.
Yeah, I am. I decide people's fates. Every fucking day, I literally decide how somebody's life is going to be shaped.
That's so powerful. I love it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, the whole thing of like domination from a concept is it's so interesting.
Those are the kind of people that terrify me. Those are the kind of people that you should be very, very concerned about. The people that openly admit that domination is interesting. I love having control of people's fates and lives on a daily basis. I love that idea. What kind of deranged psychopath would just openly admit, like, I love the idea that I could just decide the fate of people at my own helm, at the whims of my own touch. Because domination on a global scale it sounds so interesting. It's wonderful. I just love it. It's so inspiring to me. As the gatekeeper of BlackRock, I just love that idea. Not actually helping people, but I just want to dominate over their lives and control every action. Most people just buy a copy of The Sims and just play that, but holy crap, no, they want to actually play with real people's lives, jeopardize the planet, jeopardize living beings, and humanity as a whole for their own well-being, because it's good for business. Who cares? Who cares about the people? Who cares? Because I just have the power and glory. Love me.
Introducing Serge Varley, whose LinkedIn says he's worked for Morgan Stanley, Citadel, and now as a recruiter at BlackRock.
I work for a company called BlackRock. I'm not actually a finance guy. I know what happens because I'm recruiting people who do these things. I'm the person who headhunts people from other firms. So I would approach you and be like, hey, this is a good reason why you should come work for us.
Serge tells
So the reason why they hired him obviously is not for expertise. He just admitted, I'm not actually good at finances, I'm not actually skilled and qualified, but I'm a nefarious person. I am a narcissist. I am someone who could be a sociopath and a psychopath. So I'd be perfect for this role because I could transcend that to the rest of the global community and decide the fates of everyone else. Instead of actually being a person who actually cares about the actual business of BlackRock, they just want control. They want domination, which is what they got. They got it now, and it's been around for years. But now people are starting to wake up to this. There's been protests in France where French people have actually broken into BlackRock and counter-protest this global conglomerate. And that's the thing that people need to take away from this, is that all the arguments, all the protesting, all the, the debates, the screaming between the left and the right and yelling at your neighbors, friends, and family is promoted by BlackRock to distract you. Okay? Your friends, your families, your neighbors, members of the community are not your enemy. They may have a different viewpoint than you. They may have a different perspective and a different solution than you, but they are not your enemy. They are not the ones that are controlling you. They have little to no power, less or more than you. And the real enemy are the people that are the masterminds purposely from the top down controlling this. And that is BlackRock. They are the ones that are trying to separate and divide us. They're the ones that are segregating communities based on left versus right, or black versus white, or, you know, rich or poor, like dividing people and communities based on meaningless factors. When really we are all just a working class bunch of people trying to survive in this dystopia that has been engulfed by evil psychopaths that work at BlackRock. And James O'Keefe is exposing that through a sit down with an undercover reporter, and this guy is just openly admitting, yeah, I'm a psychopath. I love the idea of domination. I love the idea of war. I love the idea of just people killing each other willingly because it's good for investments, good for money. It's a business opportunity. If I could control the lives of everybody, I would love it. How is this not terrifying to someone? That this happens on a daily basis, and I have to know about this through like independent, like James O'Keefe. I have to learn about this from Twitter. And nobody's really mentioning about this. Nobody's really mentioning, not even like YouTubers are willing to dive into BlackRock. I've never seen Breaking Points mention about this. I hardly see anybody like Kyle Kalinski's or the Benjamin Nix. None of these people really dive deep into BlackRock. But you know, I know about it. Jimmy Dore knows about it. I'm assuming Kim Iverson knows about it. Like, I know few people. But this is where all your wokeness, this is where all the wars come from, this is where all the narratives for everything from the impeachment to the COVID narratives, everything comes from BlackRock. All the corruption, all the scandals, all the policies, the why you can't afford a roof over your head, why inflation's to the toss, why you can't criticize anything, why there's censorship, everything has some sort of lean back to BlackRock. It's like the 98 degrees of corporate consolidation, of global corruption. At some point, it all leads back to BlackRock. And it's because of nefarious people like him. Like the gatekeeper. Jeez, if you know you have a scary organization when you are considered a gatekeeper. I know they give them the title recruiter to make it sound pleasant, but you are a gatekeeper in the depths of hell. Anyway, so I was gonna show. I don't want to show more of this because, for time purposes, but that's kind of the gist of it. And there's more to this, and check it out for yourself. O'Keefe Media Group, OMG News, very, very well done. It almost reminds me of like a Dateline episode, like when Dateline was actually used to be good and would actually go undercover and expose people like that. This is what they should be doing. This is what, if Rachel Maddow wanted to change things around and make herself better, if any news outlet really wanted to actually do journalism again, take notes from this guy. You may not like him, you may have different viewpoints, but man, does he actually get to the bottom of things? Does he actually expose something or what? And that is something that journalists would never, ever try to imagine, because then they have to do some soul searching and realize that they are bought, paid for tools. They have lied and manipulated people for years to come and continue to do so, and they have to, again, go against their masters to do something newsworthy.